Rated date and RTA Board of Trustees Public Board Meeting for Tuesday, June 20th, 2017 is hereby called to order. Would you stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Would you call the roll, please?
Yes, ma'am. Ms. Hurd.
Here.
Ms. Hairston. Mr. Parada.
Here.
Mr. Hody. Ms. Howard. Mr. Lumpkin.
Here.
Mr. Weckeser.
Here.
Mr. Williamson.
Here.
Thank you.
We do have a quorum. We can conduct business. You have the agenda before you. Are there any changes to the agenda? Okay, is there a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Second.
Been properly moved and seconded. We approve the agenda as presented. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The agenda has been approved. Next item is the approval of the June 6, 2017 board meeting minutes. The minutes of this meeting were presented for review to all board members prior to today's meeting. Unless there's any board member who requests a reading of the minutes, I will ask if there are any corrections or additions to the minutes as presented. Having heard no request for reading of the minutes nor any corrections or additions, the minutes stand approved as presented. The next item is committee reports. Finance and Personnel, Mr. Lumpkin.
Thank you, Madam Chair, or Madam President. Today I'm bringing forward 3 action items for the board's consideration. Action item number 2, structural engineering professional services. Mr. Darren Brown is available today to present this action item.
Good morning, everybody. This procurement is for structural engineering services for repairs to our post-tension floor at the 600 Longwood location. The buses park on top and employee parking is below, and there's some repairs that need to be done. So we went out for proposal for engineering assessment, construction documents, and construction oversight for repairing this garage floor. The engineer will be required to develop a scope of work and then manage the necessary repairs. This project is consistent with RTA's core values of stewardship as we demonstrate our commitment to managing our resources efficiently and responsibly. A qualification-based procurement method was used for this criteria, and price was not the original first determination. It was the most qualified firm. After the top firm was selected by the evaluation team, pricing was then requested. We actually looked for people that had experience in post-tension floors, and just a little quick background, it's basically a floor that has cables inside of it and concrete around it, so it allows to flex, so it can handle the heavy weights of the buses. Proposals for the structural engineering services were solicited through Dayton Daily News, Dayton Weekly News, and they were sent to 13 different firms. We evaluated the firms on qualifications, experience, and references, their work program and schedule, qualifications of their personnel, and the reasonableness of the estimated hours, and then the overall quality of the proposal. The following firms, just 3 submitted proposals: Parr Walker, THP Limited, and Wish Janney Elsner and Associates. We're bringing this to the board today for approval. It is intended to have a maintenance program tied to the construction or the floor we examine annually. It is anticipated the engineers will complete the 3 phases during 2018, but in order to ensure the construction contractor works in accordance with the engineer's recommended maintenance plan, RTA would keep the engineering firm on for warranty contract oversight. Cost analysis revealed that the pricing is comparable to that which was received in 2013 when multi-year contracts were awarded to other architectural engineering firms to lead various capital projects. This procurement is funded with federal funds, but the annual oversight will be paid for through operating budget. The CEO is recommending a contract award to Carl Walker, who was the selected firm, in an estimated amount of $90,000 plus $10,000 for contingencies for an evaluation of the post-tension bus garage floor located at 600 Longworth Street. Question?
First off, I think all three of those firms are good firms. They do parking garage work, and they understand post-tensioning and so forth. We never did get the other results of the other bid results in here, which is confidential, but all three of those are good firms. The other question I have is, this is just for design stuff. So if they come up with any problems that need to be taken care of, that, I would assume that would be put out for bid. I mean, they're just gonna do a design evaluation and
Exactly. They're going to evaluate where the floor is defective. They may have to do some tearing up of some small sections to see if the cables are broken. And then from that analysis and assessment, they will put together construction documents, and we'll be bringing another action item to the board for the overall repair.
There is
Yes, you're
visible
correct.
damage.
there is physical damage.
We can see, well, actually, we can see cables.
They come from salt coming off of the buses.
Salt, soap, the weight of the buses, the constant wear and tear and movement, yeah.
Pretty old too, isn't it?
Yeah.
That was probably built at a time when they didn't know as much about post-tensioning as they do now. So,
Well, then that's my question. What's the useful life of the structure and how are we just putting Band-Aids on a situation that
I
ultimately?
don't know if it's a Band-Aid, but I think it's worth investing in see what they come up with.
Yeah, this is a good idea.
Right, if anything, they might have to reinforce the underside of it to break the span lengths, because usually they will use the post-tensioning. You've got pretty long span lengths, and then they'll tighten it up after they pour it. It's kind of an interesting process. That back then, it was not used as much when they built that, which I'm thinking was in the 70s.
Yeah, it was in the 70s.
It was. If there's a lesson learned, maybe no parking garage under bus garages. I'll never do that again in my career, Vince.
With post-tensioning.
Yeah. I probably won't build any more bus garages either. But I did, for what it's worth, in 1981, I was involved in a building project to the south of here, and FTA Chicago said, whatever you do, don't build like Dayton did. They said it's a Taj Mahal. It was considered and I think it was just that underground parking garage was considered kind of over the top. And I said, well, not to worry, we don't have that much money. But it's we've had some issues with this before, and it looks like we've got a few more we've got to deal with those.
Did they talk about any fixes possible fixes if they came up with some stuff? Was that ever discussed?
Other than what you had already described, that they may have to dig up, they may do some x-ray of the places where we know that there are defects for the concrete, so you can see the cables actually. They may do some x-ray examination just to see if the cables are broken or frayed. And then that's where that would lead to tearing that up, repairing the cables, and then putting concrete back in and sealing it.
See how they do that.
Yeah.
Maybe we can invite you over for a tour.
Well.
You just can't touch anything.
Yeah, that's. Anyway, I think you've got some good designers.
Okay. John, I think we're ready for the motion.
Any other questions, concerns, discussion?
Okay.
Okay, do I second it?
Oh, I have to make the motion
You make the
first.
motion now.
You can second it up front if you want to.
Go ahead.
With the information provided today, I move that we award the contract to Carl Walker in the estimated amount of $90,000 plus $10,000 for contingencies for an evaluation of the post-tension bus garage floor located at 600 Longworth Street. This procurement will be funded with federal grant funds.
I'll second it.
Okay. It's been properly moved and seconded. We award a contract for structural engineering professional services to Carl Walker. Are there any other questions or comments? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The contract will be awarded. Action item number 3.
Action item number 3, Mr. Brown is also going to present that to the board.
The purpose of this procurement is to contract with an off-site fueling gas station for a fleet gasoline purchasing and reporting program to allow the RTA to fuel their unleaded PMA vehicles, paratransit vehicles. These vehicles will be fueled by the operator during one of their final trips back to the garage each day. The older paratransit vehicles use diesel fuel, and we currently have only 4,000 gallons of unleaded gasoline on site at the 600 Longworth location. And we're going to be using around 23 to 25,000 gallons a month. And so that would require almost deliveries every other day or every day. So we're going to get into a supply chain issue there. So we're seeking to contract with an outside vendor to supply fuel for our paratransit vehicles. This contract supports RTA's overall mission and core values of quality service by having vehicles ready on a daily basis to meet our customers' travel needs. This contract includes a per gallon discount that increases based on usage, and this supports our core value of stewardship. Proposals for the program were for a 2-year period. They were solicited through the Dayton Daily News, Dayton Weekly News, and Transit Talent, and proposals were sent to 3 potential vendors. At 2 o'clock on May 27th, the deadline for the proposals, we only received 1 proposal. The other firms were contacted to find out why they did not submit a proposal. One firm did not respond back, and the other did not submit their proposal per instructions stated in the RFP. We did perform an evaluation of the 1 proposal based on those listed items there. The following firms submitted a proposal. It's WEX Incorporated, and they represent Speedway. Since only 1 proposal was received, a cost analysis was performed to determine if the proposed pricing is fair and reasonable. Cost analysis is based on the data provided by the U.S. Energy Information Administration for April 2017, average unleaded fuel price in Ohio $2.33 a gallon. The cost analysis revealed that the fuel discounts offered by WEX will provide a savings over market price of approximately $1,600 per month to the Greater Dayton RTA, and is considered fair and reasonable. Another part of this procurement that they will be providing to us is a daily report of the mileage and the fuel used by each vehicle, so we can maintain our PM program like we would normally if we were fueling them on site. The CEO is recommending that we award a contract to WEX Incorporated for this fleet gasoline purchasing and reporting program for a 2-year period not to exceed $1.92 million. The actual award amount may vary due to the fluctuation of fuel prices over the contract period.
Now, I do have a question. Since I see the discount amount varies by the gallons used per month, do we pay the full rate and then at the end of the month they give us a rebate of some sort?
Yes, we will get
Okay.
the taxes back, yes.
Okay.
Well, I think the discount will be considered it'll be shown on the invoice. Taxes, Darren's thinking taxes. We also get a refund on the
Okay.
taxes.
Okay. That was my only question.
Is it my understanding then that the vehicles will go to a speedway station to gas up?
Yes, they would go to there's 2 ways to do this. And we would probably prefer that there's a card that each vehicle would have. It would stay with the vehicle, it would be locked to the vehicle. The driver would pull up, slide the card in, it would register the vehicle. They couldn't purchase anything else but fuel at the pump. They pump their fuel, and they've got to put their driver ID in and the mileage. So we get the vehicle, the driver's ID, and the mileage. And all that comes back to us in a report.
Interesting.
Do we pay $2.33 a gallon even if the price is $1.98? At the pump?
Answer that question.
No, I believe it's a discount on the retail.
On whatever the price is at the
Right.
pump.
At whatever the price is at the pump,
Yeah.
is what we pay.
That's correct.
And then there's this discount based on our volume.
Okay.
We would get billed once a month.
Okay.
So at the end of the month, we'll get a bill to say you used 20,000 gallons. It would list all the retail prices because they fluctuate by day, and then we would get a discount on the total number of gallons purchased.
Okay.
What's the significance of the $2.33?
That's our evaluated price at the time of the procurement.
That's the evaluated price that you came up with, okay.
We're not hedging now. No more hedging.
And to clarify, the not to exceed number is 1292.
Yeah, I was a little dyslexic.
Okay, I just want to be sure I heard.
Thank you.
Right.
Any other questions? The information provided today, I move that we award a contract to WEX Incorporated for fleet gasoline purchasing and reporting program for a 2-year period not to exceed $1,292,642. Actual award amount may vary due to the fluctuation of fuel prices over the contract period. This procurement will be funded with local funds.
Is there a second? Okay, it's been properly moved and seconded. We award a contract for fleet gasoline purchasing to WEX Incorporated. Are there any other questions? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The motion is carried. We will be awarding a contract for fleet gasoline purchasing to WEX Incorporated.
Action item number 4, Ms. Stanforth is available today for this action item.
Yes, sir. Today, we're bringing forth long-term disability insurance, which covers all of our full-time employees. That's including the non-union folks, ATU, and AFSCME employees. The minimum benefit is $50 per month with a maximum benefit of $5,000 per month. RTA contributes 60% of the cost of this insurance, where the employee matches the 40%. To give the board an idea of how much this costs per employee, in 2016, the annual cost was about $228,000 per year. That's about $350 per employee per year. RTA pays $210 of that, where the employee pays $140 of that. So this year, we're bringing forth the insurance with a couple changes, which I'll explain. And the per employee cost is $550 per year, so it has gone up about 57%. However, the employer, or RTA, pays $330, where the employee pays $220. Depending on the class that you're in, drives when the coverage starts. There are 3 classes that they identify in the contract, 3 classes of employees. I believe the non-union folks have a 90-day waiting period, where the unionized folks have a 180-day waiting period. The successful contractor provides all plan documents and communication materials, administrative materials and supplies. They process all claims and provide claims reports. We do feel that there have been some, the experience rate has gone up significantly, and the management team feels that there can be some improvements as we move into the next union contract, perhaps making some changes there. The duration, the biggest change with the contract is moving from a 5-year benefit period to a 3-year benefit period. So the experience drove up the cost 57%, and we had to reduce the coverage from 5 years to 3 years. So we did work with McGough and Brabender with this procurement, and what we're bringing forth to you today is a pared down, right up from where we started. We did have to make some changes to get the cost to come down. So today we're bringing forth Lincoln National Life Insurance Company, and we're asking for a 2-year award with an estimated cost of $358,000 per year, for a grand total of $716,000 for a 2-year period. This is funded through the operating budget.
Now my question, this will lock us for that 2 years, correct? So if prices begin to fluctuate and everything, we'll be good for 2 years?
Yes, sir. It's a 2-year contract,
Okay.
and the rate is fixed.
My problem is the same as it is every single time we have anything having to do with health insurance or 57.7% increase. And we're gonna lock it in for 2 years, and in 2 years from now, we're gonna have to revisit this, and it'll be 67% increase. What if we were to lock it in for 5 years?
They don't offer
They-
anything beyond the 2 years. That's too risky for them.
Yeah.
Of course, okay.
And Dave, this is a target area for us. Under the Ohio Public Employee Retirement System, there is a disability retirement option for, I believe you have, once you have 5 years. So we're really talking about a population of less than 5-year employees. And it's clear that in recent years, there's been a spike and we feel some abuse. In fact, we understand that some people have been able to collect both on this policy and on PERS, which makes no sense to us, but it's a collective bargaining issue, so it's obviously on the top of the heap for the next go-round, which is probably in about 2 years.
Just one last thing, because with insurance always changing, is there any out for us if there is some sort of new product, new service, to where we can incur some cost saving instead of skyrocketing prices?
Yes, that's part of, typically with the RTA boilerplate language with our procurements, there is a fairly short window of time where we can give notice that we're going to cancel a contract. So yes, that is an option.
There aren't any other questions. With the information provided, I move we award a contract to Lincoln National Life Insurance Company for a 2-year period for the long-term disability insurance for an estimated total cost of $715,776. Annualized estimates are based on the census at the time of the request for the proposal release. This procurement will be funded with local funds.
Is there a second?
Second?
Been properly moved and second that we give a long-term disability insurance contract to Lincoln National Life Insurance Company. Are there any questions? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We will enter into a contract for long-term disability insurance with Lincoln National Life Insurance Company. Do you have a report?
I believe, Ms. Stanford, do you have the March 2017 and May 27 sales tax and the 2017 financial statement?
Yes, sir, we've included those items in the board packet today and for your review and consideration. And that is really all we plan to present today. Unless you would like me to go over those.
Well, we did receive those in advance. Do you have any questions?
No, I didn't. I just wanted.
Okay, so we did receive those. I think the only comments we made were about the sales tax. Go ahead.
Yeah, the sales tax did, it was down compared to last year at this time. And last year at this time, there was about a $600,000 increase that was related to a retroactive adjustment. So if you back out the retroactive adjustment, sometimes there are large refunds that the state processes, and it does take time for those to come about. And there's really no advance notice that those things can happen. It can be a positive or it can be a negative. A few years ago, we received a very positive adjustment, close to $1 million. So if you take out that adjustment, it's relatively flat compared to last year. And for year-to-date numbers, we are below our budgeted increase, but we're still at about a 3.5% increase year-to-date after 3 months. So it was, in total, a pretty good report. And financially, we are still running well below budget. For the month of May, we were much closer than we had been in previous months. We've been running very much below budget. So the trends for the year continue to be positive. However, we do know that annually we have a deficit that is projected, and I know that Mark and the management team, we are continuing to look at that and evaluate that, and we'll be bringing forth recommendations likely in the next few months on that.
Thank you. Let's move into the planning committee. I'll be spearing this. The first action item, number 5, is alternative transit providers, and Brandon will lead us through that.
Good morning. The purpose of this procurement is to select qualified transportation providers to assist us when needed for the delivery of our ADA complementary paratransit service, otherwise known as Project Mobility. This service will provide door-to-door transportation from these providers to our customers. The goal of this procurement is to ensure that we meet our goal of having zero denials and ensuring capacity. As some of you may or may not know, twice as many of those age 65 and older will be in our population by 2030. 87% of those folks are choosing to age in place, and along with that, they're also going to find that about 8 to 10 years we're living longer, so 8 to 10 years of their life is actually going to be spent being unable to drive. So in order for us to try and set the best foot forward, these types of contracts are necessary to help us with our existing services. We put the proposals out and to 20 firms, and we received 3 proposals in return. The standards that were put in place that the team evaluated on focused on safety, professionalism, and reliability standards. We also have included liquidated damages within the contract with the 2 providers to ensure quality control and adherence to these standards. The services for this will be paid with operating funds for an annual total of $200,000 for a total estimated over a 5-year period total of $1 million. And the 2 choice providers were Anton's Cab Service LLC and Dayton Fast Cab LLC.
Are there any questions? With the information provided today, is there a motion to award a contract to Anton's Cab Service LLC and Dayton Fast Cab LLC at an estimated total aggregate cost of $200,000 per year for a total estimated aggregate cost not to exceed $1 million over a 5-year period? The funds will be divided as needed between the 2 providers. Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Is there a second? Okay. It's been properly moved and seconded. We award a contract or contracts for alternate transit providers to Anton's Cab Service and Dayton Fast Cab. Are there any questions or comments? Okay. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Contracts will be awarded to Anton's Cab Service and Dayton Fast Cab for alternate transit providers. Action item 6. Brandon again.
The purpose of this procurement is to help us review our current fare collection equipment process and to help develop a strategy and plan for upgrading the current equipment and processes in place. The goal of the RFP that we had in place were to find a consultant or consultants to help us review our current fare policies and suggest updates, develop an overarching strategy for upgrade and or replacement of our current fare collection equipment, develop a multi-step plan for next step, and assist us in project management for the implementation of a new fare collection system. As many of you know, our current fare collection system is outdated. We have not made that leap quite yet to smart card and other types of new technologies such as mobile payments and other platforms. Also to the ability to manage cash does become quite costly, as I'm sure Mary could explain. So we want to look at reviewing all of our options and try to look at getting ourselves an advanced fare collection system, not just for the next 10 years, but for the next 20 years, including reviewing transit companies such as those in Europe that are doing some of these advanced fare collection systems. So this procurement and fare consulting contract will help us to be able to do that and make sure that we're making the right steps in replacing a system that's going to last us into the future, but also be future-proof, so that as we need to make iterations and changes to the system, we're able to do that and not have to continually come back and pay for additional upgrades. We're future-proofing the system for the next 20, 30 years. We sent out proposals to 42 firms, and we received 3 proposals in return. And today we are recommending that an award be made to IBI Group for 2 years with a 1-year option at a not-to-exceed total of $80,000. And this procurement will be funded through operating funds.
With the information that we received today, is there a motion to award a contract to IBI Group for 2 years with 1-year option at a not-to-exceed cost of $80,000? The procurement will be funded with operating funds.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Okay. Are there any questions or comments?
I just have one question. How often do we go out questioning our strategy and ask consultants to come in and look at our equipment? How often do we go through this process?
I would argue we've really done it about 3 times in the last 7, 8 years. I know we did one where we did the analysis of our facilities that Bob's group led, where we brought in firms to assess all the different facilities and their condition. Then we did one on the IT project before we invested the $13 million. And now this one, and this is the next big one. I mean, the idea that the way technology is changing, I mean, obviously, what we don't want to buy is, something that'll be obsolete in 6 months and spend millions of dollars for it. And hopefully they're going to help us look beyond, and who knows, we might come out with a solution that meets our needs well into the future and is flexible. And I think these are cases where we could make our best guess, but we're probably better off spending a little money up front to make a better decision in the long run. It might be more cost effective.
Are there any other questions? Okay. All those in favor of awarding a fare collection consultant contract to the IBI Group, please say aye.
Aye.
Those, any opposed? Okay. Motion carried. We are awarding a fee collection consultant contract to the IBI Group. The Planning Committee does have one informational item, the Customer and Business Development Highlights, a summary document of recent activities in the Customer and Business Development Department is included in today's board package. And for today's meeting, no action is required at this time on Consumer and Business Development Highlights. This concludes the report from the Planning Committee. Next, we have the CEO's report.
Thank you, Madam President. Just a couple informational items. Last week, Brandon and I presented before the Montgomery County Board of Commissioners at their work session to talk about the new services, the pilot programs the board approved a couple months ago and that we began implementing in the last few weeks. We had a great discussion there, very well received. They were quite pleased. I'm becoming more nervous than most people about the Ohio budget bill, which we're 10 days away from this thing being passed, and we've yet to see definitive proof of a fix for the MCO sales tax issue in the bill. We're told that perhaps today, in an omnibus amendment, a fix from Senator Dolan will be inserted. I'll believe it when I see it. But in the case of this current fix, it's proposed to be a long-term fix, which we like. It basically adopts the administration's proposal, but also orders that there be a study done to determine how much is the long-term loss, and for that to be funded through additions in that area. So We're always hopeful, but obviously we're getting worried at this point. We're really late in the game this time. I think we're later in the game than we were in the last couple of budgets. By now, they were pretty close to an answer. So we'll see. Hopefully we'll have a positive outcome. Regional transit authorities in the counties all over the state are lobbying for the same end goal. The challenge is a lot of the leadership on the county level is Democratic, and we have a very strong Republican legislature. So hopefully people will see through the local need here and give us some relief. I would also tell you that, you know, we continue to have little blips on the gun issue, and over the weekend we had a new one from our union, so I'll keep you up to date on that. They don't, at the moment, wish to proceed the way we're proceeding, but in rereading the email a couple times, it's clear that there's a lack of understanding of where we're at. But we're going to meet with them anyway on the health insurance issue on Thursday, so we're going to have a little weapons discussion at that time too. And I've asked them to please not run off, and in the email they suggested they were going to order their people to stop doing things, and that's never a good idea before a conversation. And with that, the only thing else I'd like to do is do a gray hair check on Mr. Cole, who is now a week into his new role here as the Chief Operating Officer. And I guess Mr. Brown as well has been appointed as the Director of Maintenance, so we should do a gray hair check today. We can just pan the camera over to those guys, and then we'll see how that goes in the coming months. There'll be a lot more on that in the future, but obviously we're looking forward to moving forward, and I can tell you they're both already neck deep in the issues in their areas. So with that, unless there are questions, that's all I have to report.
I have no old business to discuss that I'm aware of.
Other than Gene and I, you know, we're the only old business at the RTA.
New business, none. Do we have any requests for public comment? Barry, Kathy, did we receive any requests for public comment? Okay. Board member comments. I'd like to, for those of you who have not seen it, this is the Dayton Weekly News, which is the black newspaper. And if you open it up, there's a nice article with a picture. RTA promotes Chris Cole to Chief Operating Officer. So I'm sure you have plenty copies, but I brought another one for you to send out. Okay. Anna, you can just pass this down. And that's it for my comments.
I just want to congratulate Chris. I think it's really important that we focus on continuity as we move along. Congratulations. And I think we got a couple more to also give them.
Congratulations.
I'd like to extend my congratulations as well.
Well, I'll hold my congratulations till I see the gray hair.
I see like 30 or 40 of
Any comments from board members on this side?
No, Madam President.
Okay.
Nope, just congratulations and good luck.
Okay. We do not need an executive session today. Okay. So with no other business to come before the board, is there a motion to adjourn?
So move.
Second.
I have one to
Yes.
clarify that we do not have a regularly scheduled board meeting in July.
Yes. The July 6, 2017 meeting has been canceled, which is why we took action on items today. Okay. It's been properly moved and seconded. We adjourn the meeting. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, you may stay here by yourself. Motion carried. Meeting adjourned.